Let's give it a second. It claims that it's live. So hi to everybody that might be watching this in the future or now. All right, so first thing, start with the BoD meeting. This one will be fairly short. It's just going to be basically the only item that I have on there, unless somebody wants to add something, is a check on the 501c3 status. And I guessing Mara would be the best equipped to give us an answer on that.
That is correct. All information has been submitted as of about 2 weeks ago. Should be hearing back soon. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks.
Oh, awesome. So it's completely submitted. We're just waiting on an external force to...
Yep.
Cool. Anything else that we should be aware of as a group, watching for background checks, like anything going to come our way?
I don't believe so, but you'll likely get the copy of the documents in the mail. Everybody will.
Awesome.
Because we're all on the board.
Joy.
Okay.
Welcome to our board.
Question for Mara.
Yes.
Has the change of officers been submitted with the state?
Oh, crud. We need to do that. No, I will get that submitted tomorrow. That shouldn't take very long.
I think you might need board minutes to go with that, so somebody may want to do an official vote.
Official vote for change of officers?
Yeah. We have a new president, new secretary, or not a new secretary, but, new board members, etc.
Hint, somebody should.
I think, or so I guess since it's all technically automatic, there is no vote of the board necessary to appoint the president or the secretary, since our bylaws dictate who that is. Then I'm not sure what would be necessary. Mara, do we need anything, or would just a motion to recognize the results of the election be appropriate?
I think that'd be appropriate, and then I can just put it on some letterhead for board minutes.
Yeah, and then you'll want to do I don't know, probably just an official vote to actually submit that paperwork with those names on it.
Okay. It doesn't come across as inappropriate for us to vote ourselves in and ratify ourselves.
No, we're voting to direct one of our officers to update our information with the state. And I don't really know that should require a vote, but that's what it's about.
Okay.
Occasionally they require oddball minutes. I will double check when I go to file. And if it's needed, then I will post the official wording on our Facebook page. We can vote on it, and then I can draft minutes.
Okay, so no need for a motion or any vote at the moment?
Currently, no.
Okay. All right, does anybody have any other business we want to talk about for the BoD side of things?
Nope.
Nope.
Nothing here.
Nothing on this side.
Looks good. Does anybody want to make a motion for conclusion? No. We all want to sit here. This is how this process is supposed to work. Somebody should make a motion. Somebody should second it for the BoD.
I make a motion we conclude the BoD meeting.
I second it.
2. We can do it.
I second it. What? I don't know what to say.
We've got our 2. So we've got our 2. So then, any dissenting opinions about that? Nope. All right, let's move on. Let's close this off as far as the BoD is concerned and get to the juicy stuff. All right. So humana, BoD done. Yay, I waved into the camera. All right. So first item on the agenda for the CoC. Welcome to the CoC meeting, if anybody is now joining us. Is a membership review for Robert Russell, also known as Wolverine in Lupin Moon. I guess there's a couple people that have not read through the news article or any of the other stuff that was shared. My understanding of the situation is that we have a player who infrequently attends Lupin Moon, and he just had a run-in with, I guess it wasn't technically a run-in with the law. Oh. Okay, let me see if I can manually re-invite these two people.
Was wondering where they went.
Yeah, it's not like I clicked anything.
Technically, they're not part of this meeting.
Oh, did somebody
They were part of the last one. Well, I didn't, but
okay. Yeah, no, I didn't do it.
they aren't
so
Council of Towns.
Right.
Board.
Fair enough. It just says they left the chat on my end.
I mean, I don't have any objection to them coming back, but
right. So whatever happened there was not intentional. I don't know what's going on with it, but kicked right when she joined again. I don't even see it. Thank you for joining again. I will invite again.
Could be a connection problem.
It might be their phones too.
There we go. They're both back in. All right, moving on. So Robert Russell. So we had a summary of stuff on Facebook, but my understanding of it from reading through the news article was that Robert Russell attempted to steal a bike off of somebody's motorhome, and the owner came out and they got into an altercation. At which point Robert Russell stabbed the guy multiple times with a key, and the other guy defended himself by biting Robert's nose. Robert was arrested, but no charges were pressed, and everybody basically just said, it was a weird exchange. There's no legal proceedings, from my understanding, going on at this time. Everybody was like, it's out of my jurisdiction. Do you want to press charges? No, thank you. And so that's where they ended. So there's no legal stuff going on from this altercation at this time. But we have a concern with an individual that, obviously has the potential for some issues. And so, does anybody else have anything they want to chime in at this point?
Unless they completely dropped all the charges, there were assault charges thrown in there, but I'm not sure what's going on with that now.
Okay, yeah, my understanding from the court view system, which, oh my gosh, it's so hard to poke through, was that they filed in one office, decided it wasn't technically considered a dangerous weapon because the key isn't flagged as a dangerous weapon, and so it went to somebody else's office, and then they didn't ever file the charges or something. So that's what I could piece together from what I saw.
Well, I think just from not even considering, what legal repercussions has happened outside of AMCAR, just for a safety and security measure, it seems to me, just from the information I have, that the guy is prone to theft. So probably not the best idea to have a member like that. Just my say, at least.
I don't think that anybody disagrees. I forgot to include that I had multiple members from Loop and Moon come to me with concerns about this individual coming out to AmpGuard and participating anymore after seeing their name and what they saw in the news. So
it was a very public deal. ADN made a huge stink about it. KTU, all the radio stations took it and ran with it. It was kind of a pretty public thing going on. So.
Yeah, even down here in Kenai, I had coworkers and stuff that I didn't even know. The guy come to me and be like, "Did you see this on the news?" And I was like, "Oh, I know that. Oh, okay, yeah."
So yeah, very public. Everybody's seen it. Yep. So I guess at this point, what I put on the agenda was, based off concerns from others and just some other talkings with Cameron and Sean, actually, because they were the closest in the region with the most direct concern, was, do we want to do anything about his membership with our organization? And so I kind of throw that question back out to you guys, to, I guess, more specifically Cameron, if he wants to take the lead on this.
Based on the publicity and the potential of theft, I would recommend a suspension of membership.
Indefinite or for a time?
Indefinite.
I'd have to agree with that. Indefinite.
Same.
I agree.
Do you guys want to consider this as your vote as you kind of run down the list? You're all kind of chiming in unanimously. So did anybody not get to say their piece? I think that was everybody that was here, unless we want to ask Goran for any opinions, if he's got a free moment.
Yeah, I've got a free moment. I don't have any precedent information. I agree with everybody on the council. I think that you have to look at it from the potential of safety for your members and your organization. So I think that anyone that engages in those kinds of behaviors kind of represents a risk to the safety of the organization and its members. So I think you guys are spot on.
That's actually put perfectly.
All right. All right. Unless anybody says anything otherwise, I'm going to count this as a unanimous vote for permanent suspension of membership, or effectively a termination of membership.
The technical term is expulsion.
Expulsion. Okay. Alrighty. Anything else we want to chat about under that heading?
I've got nothing there.
No. Okay. It's always a
Same
sad
for
thing,
me.
but yeah. All right. Next big question: Alaska State Fair. I see that there are still some holes in coverage. Is there anything that you think that we can do to help, basically?
From my standpoint, I mean, things are trucking along pretty good. People are doing a really awesome job volunteering. We've still got holes, but we can definitely work with some holes. Like, we don't need to have 100% to be successful. I mean, I think if we just keep talking about it a little bit online, if you guys, if I make a post, if you could do me a favor and just share it to your local Facebook pages, that would help a lot. And just, remind people that they have the opportunity to pitch in if they want to. I know a lot of people are, as they get their work schedules and they know what their free time is and stuff, and they start jumping in. So, I mean, things look okay right now.
Okay. We don't think we need to go dramatic with anything extra. I mean, I was trying to drum up extra ideas, and one idea that I had was, what if we gave somebody a season pass, gym pass, basically through, do we need to go to that level as like a raffle for whoever gives the most,
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, we don't want to spend a bunch of extra money on the fundraiser, because that just, limits the funds that we're raising. But, I mean, no, just help me recognize the people that kick butt and help make this work. And that'll go a long way. And, urge your members and your officers to come out and just do one shift. It's fun. You get a free ticket to the fair, and you can spend a few hours talking about AmpGuard to some strangers, and it's a good time. And that should do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know at my Bring It Ins, I've been talking about how it's our biggest fundraiser and recruitment for the kingdom, and that you'll get in for free, and that you're getting those credits, that we're offering up to them. And I've seen a good positive throwback from my people from that point.
That's because you're awesome, Red. Thank you.
And then those Bring It Ins go live on our Facebook page, so that anyone that wasn't at the park will also see those.
Awesome. All right. Anybody get to stop me from moving on to the next item?
Nope.
Nothing here.
Okay. SenchiCon. I put up a summary, but I think it's all for naught. I don't think there's even any tables left. So,
that's a shame.
Yeah, with there being a lack of tables, it being very expensive, and just everything else put together, my suggestion is that we skip this year and double down on our efforts for the state fair in Palmer, and then just kind of think about it maybe for next year. And if there's, if we can make it worthwhile for ourselves as a group to show up or not show up. They've been raising the price of the site, it's from what I understand, and it may not be something that we ever consider worthwhile, but we could think about it for next year. This year, I don't think there's anything we can really do. Does anybody disagree based on the info they know or seen?
I was talking to Kraken this last weekend down in Icefire Bay, and he said he was probably just going to end up retracting his bid for the SenchiCon because there weren't any tables left. So it's kind of a moot point at this time.
Right. Yeah, I was actually talking with him directly, and he's the one that told me that there were no tables left. So we kind of came to that conclusion together as we were running through it. So
yeah, if there's no tables, we can't really do it.
Yeah, it's kind of moot. Doesn't matter. All right. So next item, unless y'all stop me. No. Okay. We're missing one person who I just realized. Jay, Shelby's not there, is she? With you?
No, she's not. Last I heard, she was doing some school shopping with the kids. So.
Okay. So the person I was going to ask, unless you have any info about Grand Academy.
I got all kinds of info on Grand Academy.
Okay. Do you mind filling in? We're looking for basically anything you got.
Okay. Sorry. And I know that it's been radio silence there, but I don't know everything, but I get to retain some information from osmosis. So the site that we had set up that we normally use for Grand Academy fell through. And so Hadeland has spent the last couple of weeks looking for an alternative site. And with the assistance of Blue, she's found a site that's through one of the rural school districts, but they have a really nice building that they use in Anchorage with students that come in for like week on, week off or something like that. Anyway, the site's really good, and she's trying to negotiate some sort of agreement to use the facility. And so that's where that's at. She was trying to get a hold of them today. Hopefully we'll know something within the next day or two. Okay. We've got at least 2 out-of-state instructors that are interested in coming up. And I think that's really all that I know.
And without the site, it really is hard to plan anything else. Timeline.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tough because the site that we normally use is free. And so that's how the budget was generated. So we're trying to figure out how much the site's going to cost, because that'll drastically impact everything else.
Right. Okay. And the timeline for that, are we still looking in like October? Is that kind of the still tentative plan that you know of, or?
I think that the school's availability, last I heard, if I remember correctly, was late October, early November.
Okay, so it shifted a little bit later than.
Yeah, still the same approximate time frame.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you so much for that. It was awesome. And that's not sarcastic. That's just me stuttering because I'm changing windows and reading. Sorry. Anybody have any questions or anything that we think we can get answered right now? Nope. Okay. Moving on. Stop me if I go too fast or whatever. Toys for Tots. Oh, sorry. I heard something. No, just an error. Okay. Toys for Tots tournament. I linked the bid the only bid I got, or sorry. So this is not like a bid as in like an existing entity or event that normally is done, but Kraken or Jonathan Jacobs submitted a fairly decent write-up bid for his plan to do a Toys for Tots tournament. And he wants to do that. I won't even run through it. Have you guys all had a chance to look at it?
Yes.
Yeah, we did it last year.
Okay. Any questions about it?
Yeah, I've got one. Just kind of like a on the side question. Is this something that each park should be striving to do, or is this just something that Kraken has decided to take up on his own?
It's something that Sean, you said that you guys did it last year, or that he did something last year.
Yes, we ran a Toys for Tots tournament last year, and all 5 parks, as far as I know, all 5 parks participated.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say Frozen Coast definitely participated last year.
Yeah, so did Astro Winds. That's why I had the question, should I be doing that? Is there a set time frame that we want to be doing that in, or no?
Yeah, so if we go with the idea that he's submitting, which I linked the little Word file if that's helpful to open up. But here, I can actually relink the actual file to you guys. Copy link. You found it?
I was reading it.
Oh, you're okay. You got it. Cool. So the time frame for it was the last couple weekends of November, basically, the last 2 weekends of November. Because the idea is that getting it done and all donations submitted to the folks before they close, which my understanding is first week of December, or maybe it's mid-December, but it gives you a little bit of slosh room in case you miss a weekend or something, because that does fall in the time frame for Thanksgiving, which some parks might have a hard time with Thanksgiving for some reason. So the idea is, do we want to support this and go with the way that it's been presented to us?
It was run.
Sorry, go ahead.
It was run rather smoothly last year. I want to go ahead and say give them the support for this.
Okay. Does anybody have any concerns about running something like this in their local park?
No, not at all. I'm going to try to build more hype than last year, because I feel like we didn't have a lot of hype down here last year for it.
I'm trying to find a venue for that, but it's within the last 2 weekends of November. I have more than enough time to actually find a venue for that, so I could spearhead that and get that running too.
A venue, as in not just at your normal gym at your normal time?
Well, if we're, I'm not entirely sure if we're in the winter gym by November. We probably should be. That's realistically possible. But if we're not, I mean, my PM has a hall that he can reserve it pretty much anytime he wants, and we can use it there or whatever. It's just, it'll be the first event I'm running, but I think I can get that done.
Okay. Unless things have really changed. I mean, I haven't been to Fairbanks Amp in a very long time, but unless things have really changed, you will be in the gym by November. You will be very cold, very sad if you're not.
Well, it kind of varies weather-wise, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm getting messages about other things okay. Context. All right. So do we want to have let's make this official and do a vote? Astral Wind support, yay, nay?
Yeah.
All right. Ravenstone. Yay? Okay, I can't hear anything and I don't see the camera moving, but I'm gonna assume. All right, Loop and Moon, Cameron.
Yes.
Cool. Frozen Coast.
Yes.
I just wanted to say Pokemon Go. Like, choose you. Anyways, so and of course, yeah, all thumbs up for this. So I say we give him the thumbs up, and keep tabs on him and make sure everything kind of comes together. All right, next item. Again, stop me, guys. I just want to blow through things fast if we can. So stop me if I go too fast. So I'm going to pick on you a little bit up in Fairbanks. There's 2 events going on in Fairbanks, and I've got no documentation or bids or anything as far as cohesive documents to share with everybody. But I'm kind of trying to watch as you guys form your plans, and it looks like you got folks on top of things, so that's awesome. But the 2 events,
right? So
the UAF one,
go ahead.
You got a UAF thing going on, right, on some Tuesday. Is that next week? Is that right, or what was the date?
I believe so. Yep. Austin Labor, Delahiva, he and Joshua Watts are kind of spearheading it. I've lent my support for the fighting circle when that gets up. My with the convention being hosted at Eielson Air Force Base, I was only informed by my PM about 2-3 hours ago that there should be a bid for that. I had assumed that as the autocrat, like one had already been made, whoever was the autocrat for that. And then I realized that it wasn't, and that they're kind of expecting me to do it. So I will have a bid to you as fast as I possibly can.
Okay, so like, yeah. I mean, the bid would be good so that we can share with everybody what's going on. But honestly, at this point, I mean, it's just kind of like, go. You guys do your thing. And what do you need from us? Do you need anything from us?
I think we've got it all covered. I mean, the Eielson Air Force Base is just a $50 fee, which of course you already noticed in the agenda that Puppet, they footed the bill for that. So I mean, as far as getting in and personnel, we're all set. We can do these events.
So not that we want to make, we want to be on top of this a little bit more in the future, but budget wise, and I don't know if Mara has this answer at the tip of her tongue, but is there money that could be earmarked for this to help make it so that Puppet's not floating the bill? Because Puppet doesn't deserve to be floating the bill for things. We
shouldn't be floating the bills. There is a small events budget, but we did take some of that into the Fairbanks State Fair thing they had going on, because that was kind of unplanned as well. So I'm not sure exactly how much of that budget we have left. How much are we looking at for this?
$50 at least for Puppet, unless they need any other support. Which I mean, so that's a question back to the Monarch.
I mean, the $50 has already been paid, so I'm not sure we could reverse that, even if we wanted to. That just gets us the booth. Anything we'd need past that, we already have in Ashwin's. A sign, some weapons for people to use, and stuff. Tables and chairs.
Back to him with a reimbursement request. In general, we should be trying to fit our own bills for stuff rather than expecting the populace to pay for anything on that.
Right,
so
and I kind
of go rough up Puppet for a receipt.
I will do that.
Hey, I have a question. Is it possible to get leftover swords from the Fairbanks, the Tanana Valley Fair down here at the State Fair in Palmer?
You'd have to speak to Ashiana about that. She and Domnu, Ernie, they kind of spearheaded that whole thing, and I think they're the ones that actually know about it. So I know next to nothing about that. You'd probably be better suited asking Ashiana.
Okay. I can try. My hands are a little full with the booth at the moment. Are you able to reach out to them and see what we can do about getting those down here?
Yeah, I can message him. You just want to know if there's any leftover swords for down there at the State Fair?
Well, yeah. I mean, because we have a pretty good opportunity to sell them.
Yeah, so if they have any, and then, if they do, identify somebody who can move them.
Goran, did Deli drop those swords off to you that I sent with him?
Yes, ma'am, he sure did. Thank you very much.
Cool beans.
Okay. Yeah, I'll throw that question out to top 5 and he can find out.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right. Anything else about the Fairbanks events that you got going on?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm still kind of new as a Monarch, so I'm getting used to this myself. But I think as far as the next 2 upcoming events, we've got it pretty well covered. So
awesome. Okay, so plan. You're gonna rough up Puppet, get a receipt, and we're gonna figure out if we have money. So Mara's gonna figure out if we have some money that we can throw his way to reimburse him, because we don't want to. We want to set the precedent of not having our populace pay for things like that.
Right.
If possible. All right.
We should have money. That event budget included stuff like the Highland Games and CenturyCon. So if we're not, I think we skipped Highland Games due to clerical errors on getting some Palmer stuff done. And then if we're not doing CenturyCon, we should have money for that. That should not be a big deal, I wouldn't think.
Alrighty. Moving on, unless you stop me. So speaking of events, bids, and planning, we as a group will need to get together all of the future requests for bids, at least for, I guess, your guys' 6 months coming up. And I kind of want to do planning beyond that too. So I might be asking a little bit extra of you guys beyond the scope of your terms per se. But I want to throw that out there as a thing. And so watch for that in the chats. And I'm trying to think the next big one, because like Grand Academy is already kind of in motion. You know, the two smaller ones in Fairbanks are going on. We got the state fair that's going, obviously. The next big thing in my head that's popping up is DC. So does anybody have one between now and then?
I don't think so. The only Astro ones happened, so.
Hey Sean, I see you talking occasionally, but it doesn't register for you. So it's in case it's broken. Yeah, I just realized you might have been trying to talk to us this whole time. No, nothing.
Mid-range and PM turnover. Did we coordinate the mid-range to generally coincide with one another, since the elections will need to coincide?
There was one on my notes.
From my knowledge, that the sister parks aren't next to each other in their mid-range. I can ask my regent. She is right here.
So Froco was question mark for mid-rain. Same for Lupin Moon. Ravenstone had a date. They were committed. Mid-rain of October 28th.
Hey, Nolarian.
Yeah.
My regent just handed me all the dates that were sent from Hadeland to her. Mid-rain, Icefire Bay is 10/27. Ravenstone is 10/28. Lupin Moon is 11/3. Frozen Coast is 11/4. Astral Winds, they don't know. Jay. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I got it.
Yep, Red beat me to it. I was about to read you off the same list.
Okay. Awesome.
So we actually do. I feel really bad about saying this in case I'm wrong and I just end up eating my foot, but I think we actually do have a date set for, and as has reserve it pretty much anytime he wants for free. And so all we'd have to do is really just plan it and, you know, do the awards and whatnot. I don't have the date in front of me. I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay.
I'll blurt that out when I get it.
Yeah, or just share it with the group later when you get it. And it looks like we're all kind of coordinating. You know, they're spreading out a little bit, which is good for folks that want to make it to every event or all the ones that they can. So other than mid-range, and so there's the voting. That was what you were talking about. I guess I was thinking specifically in terms of like requests for bids, because the idea, I've had this idea shared with me a couple of times, and I'll pass it along to you guys because you probably haven't heard it, that we want to have our events kind of planned out, or at least assigned to a person or a group of people as far out as a year in advance if possible. Like by the end of one Wolf's Cry, it would be good to know who the next autocrat of the next Wolf's Cry is going to be, so that you know, all the planning and everything can start going right then. And we're not anywhere close to that point because we don't even know who's doing DC, and that's, you know, much closer than Wolf's Cry. And so that's why I want to work through that. And it's not something that we're ready to push out yet, but, you know, within the next couple of weeks, if possible.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah. If you want to jump in there.
Yeah. The CoC appointed me as Dungeon Crawl.
Did they? CoC is you. Okay. Or sorry. Yeah, Dungeon Crawl is you. Okay. Missed that one. So DC's done taken care of. That's
okay, unless you want to appoint somebody else.
All right.
Which is okay. I'm just
I mean, he did a really good job last year, so I think it's.
I didn't do it last year.
He didn't do it. Yeah, he didn't do it.
Lucy,
I thought you did because you were like the commentator and whatnot.
Nope.
No, I'm pretty sure Blue ran it last year.
No, it was Lucy.
Wow.
I thought Blue was the dungeon crat.
That might have been it.
The fighter.
Yeah, it was like somewhere between Blue and Lucian.
I do want to discuss maybe after the CoC meeting. I'd like to discuss with the council that event.
Okay. Okay, so let's burn through the rest of the items here, unless anybody wants to talk about those RFBs.
Okay, one more thing, because you had mentioned things upcoming between now and Dungeon Crawl. I know Ravenstone potentially has Yuki Fest. I don't know any details on what they may or may not have planned for it. But
Yuki Fest is the beginning of January, I believe, somewhere in there.
yeah,
Okay.
I know it's in January, so I know it's before Dungeon Crawl.
I mean, I can put some feelers out, but I'm not sure if there's anyone at Ravenstone who's going to want to put in a bid for that. It's generally not something that we make a lot of money off of, and we don't generally keep a lot of the players that come out after that event.
Okay.
That's sad if you guys don't do it. That was the birth of Ravenstone, was Yuki Fest.
And maybe not just put it out to Ravenstone, pit like ask for bids from the whole kingdom. I mean, there's a lot of people that can help you with it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But let's not consider this closed. So if anybody's got things in the future, throw them out and onto the page, and we'll try not to let them slip by.
Well, I put my feelers out. It looks like Gideon says he's interested in Yuki, so.
Okay.
That's cool.
Okay. All right. Jumping on to the next thing, unless somebody stops me. Stop me. All right. Website update. So
Looks good.
I don't know if you guys have looked at it. The frame, the tech running it should be up and online for the most part. We can of course swap out elements or add new cool features later, but the idea is the basic infrastructure is online. And I spent some time rebuilding the core elements from the previous site in desperate preparation for all the new people that are going to look at it from the state fair. So hopefully that's you guys should all take a moment, and if you got like web-minded people that in your parks that can also take a look at it, and they can identify things that they think would really be valuable for adding that low-hanging fruit that we can do. Pass it along, and we'll try to get that up as fast as possible. But I do want to point out, as somebody made a concern or passed along a concern, that the idea of this thing is that it is not replacing how we use Facebook. It's an augmentation, and it's just another platform that will share the things that we're doing on there. For example, this CoC meeting is being broadcast to YouTube, and it's being embedded on the front page of their website. So if anybody was like, hey, I wanted to see the CoC meeting, you can just tell them akampguard.com, and they can see it right there as a news item on the front page. The other thing that I kind of wanted to point out was that I thought was neat, because I did it, because nothing but self-promotion, right? I got a little quick links thing, how to join, AmpGuard rules of play, and the orc are all quick links right at the top. And if you look at it on your mobile versus on the desktop, it looks slightly different. But the idea is, hey, bam, really easy stuff. Check out your levels, find the rulebook real fast. And then I got a little dedicated page for how to join. And that's the one that I'm really worried about for new folks, from the state fair. So if you guys got ideas on how to pretty it up or things that you think might be missing and valuable, let me know. Sooner the better, because Thursday, in theory, thousands of new people will be looking at it, right?
Sounds pretty neat so far.
I mean, I did order 5,000 business cards with that address on it.
5,000. Okay. That's a commitment.
Right there.
What else with that? So going into the future, and this is not something that I'm, if you guys want to jump on it, awesome, but I'm not going to like shove it at you quite yet. If we could get regional sections on the website up for each of you, I would like to give you or somebody that you delegate to access to the website. And in theory, you'll be able to post your own regional related things on your own little sections. the other plans are having a super awesome like tutorial section, like videos and guides and stuff on how to make basic swords, tunics, all that kind of newbie stuff. And that's something that I'll kind of throw at the Regions Council in a little bit, but we're not there yet. Because like I said, prioritizing for fair and that kind of stuff. So that's mostly it for the website, unless you guys got questions right at the moment.
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Okay, so I'm going to slide in the last thing. So one thing that you guys might notice is that there is a lack of pictures of people and AmpGuard in general on the website. And that was, I have them all. Nothing is deleted. I have the whole old website, and in probably about 5 minutes, if absolutely necessary, I could revert back to the old one. Like that's the level of which I've preserved it. But one of the reasons I didn't include a bunch of pictures on the new site is because we don't have a waiver for photo and video release and authorization. And so this kind of bleeds into a waiver update that I think that we need as a group. And we need to start cleaning out personally identifiable information that we don't need to hold on to, and include the photo and video release. And so the question to you guys is, any of you or anybody you know would be willing to start tweaking that waiver? Save me a couple hours.
I've got experience with legal documents, so I mean I could do that.
And this isn't a thing where like, I'm not expecting like an individual to like completely do it, but like if somebody wants to throw together a draft of cleaning it up and making it work right, then we'll all review it and tweak it as necessary. But just somebody that can, mess with a Word file and make PDFs and knows how to do that and knows what language to start copying and pasting to the right places. I
have an alternate suggestion.
Sure.
I can throw a message up on the Circle of Monarchs page to see what, because this has been a topic of discussion AmpGuard wide, to see what language other kingdoms are already using in their waivers.
Okay. I had understood that we were going to lead the way in identifying some of these things, so I wasn't sure if that was a useful direction. But you think it would be?
Well, I think there are other people that are doing the same thing as we are, and they may have already come up with some great language, so it could save us some time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fire it off, Ambassador.
I like that idea.
Nothing like copy pasting. I love it. So
copy pasting is great.
This also is the kind of thing that would be well advised to run by a lawyer, rather than just trying to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe looking at like big businesses, media release, blah blah. Kind of look at that and what bigger like businesses have done with that and stuff.
Right. So let's see what our ambassador can glean from others, because there's also a value in being as unified across AmpGuard as a whole as possible. So if they're like, oh, look at this super awesome thing, and there's not a whole lot of tweaking and work we need to do, and we love it, then well, we'll be done by the next CoC meeting, and then the PMs will hate us because we'll be requesting fresh waivers signed. But
yeah, but we don't necessarily know the legal issues around PII in our jurisdiction versus another kingdom's jurisdiction.
Oh, that's true.
What works for one kingdom might not necessarily work for another.
Could be state. Yeah, you're thinking state law issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We probably still want to piece something together first, because going in empty-handed means even more time that a lawyer would charge. Goran, do we have like a lawyer on call for this kind of thing?
No, but you can get with the Chamber of Commerce and the local Small Business Association. They have all kinds of resources for small businesses and NPOs for just this sort of thing.
Okay. So yeah, we'll poke around on that, and should we all vested parties take a stab at it and see if they find anything worthwhile on there, or do we want to delegate to a specific individual? Corin, are you available for looking up such a individual, such a party? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Cameron. That was directed at.
Yeah,
Cameron.
I wasn't sure you were talking to either.
Like you guys,
I recognize my persona name just as well as my mundane name, but so I might have missed the transition. Are you switching from who's going to look up potential updates to the waiver to who's going to look up trying to find a lawyer?
Yeah,
Or-
so I was splitting the two tasks. If you don't mind looking up and finding a lawyer with a basically finding a lawyer that's reasonable for the context of what we're going to ask them, and then Jason will find some cheater language from another kingdom. Does that work
Okay.
as a strategy? Split and divide.
Yep.
Divide and conquer is wow. It's too late. We're gonna have to end this meeting here really fast because my brain is shutting down. All right. So waiver. We'll close that up. We got a plan unless somebody stops me. Stop me. Stop me. Stop me. No. All thing August. I've got no items going on. Does anybody have anything that they know of?
Not as
they've
far as
seen,
I'm aware.
heard? No. Okay.
I don't think any points have been raised in Astro Winds, at least.
Okay. Frozen Coast?
No, nothing here.
Nothing. Okay. Then Sean, I assume you're still there?
I'm still here if you can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you.
You had to get new headphones. Got no all thing subjects out of Ravenstone. We have, however, gotten William Evans onto the field and reaving recently. Got him reeve certified 2 weeks ago, and as far as I know, he's starting to step into that role a little bit.
Awesome. And this is the son of.
This is the 11-year-old that wants to get back on the field. That needs to not be. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I like William. He's good.
All right. So whole thing, unless something really comes flying at us, I'll assume we're gonna not have any all thing items for the month of August. Next item, future meeting schedule. You're all here. Awesome. Except for Icefire Bay, but she is working, and we know that. And the only alternative that I saw from her was Sundays. So I'll just ask you guys: is the current schedule, the first and third Mondays of each month at 8 p.m., doable for you guys for the most part?
Monday schedule, yes.
Yeah, the Monday.
Yes.
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 Works for me. I mean, I can do anything as long as I have fair warning.
Awesome. Okay, so I think that we'll maintain the schedule unless something else comes up. You know, they're like, oh, could we do Tuesdays and then everybody could be here? Then we'll renegotiate that at that point. But so far, Mondays, and I'll keep scheduling it out that way. All right. So does anybody have anything else they want to talk about here while we're all together and live public streaming broadcasting?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Oh. Okay, so thanks everybody for joining us, and I think we're going to move to a super short closed session by request. So, going to stop the broadcast now.